Kareem, amma ba'd. When Musa alayhi salam brought his message to Fir'aun and Fir'aun's people, Fir'aun rejected the message, and he, after seeing the signs of Musa alayhi salam's truthfulness, seeing the miracles, he felt that Musa alayhi salam posed a real threat to him and to his kingdom. So at one point, he made a plan to kill Musa alayhi salam. ذروني أقتل موسى وليدعو ربه إني أخاف أن يبدل دينكم أو أن يظهر في الأرض الفساد. Let him call on his Lord. Let him make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His Lord won't be able to save him. We need to get rid of Musa because I fear that he's going to create a revolution that's going to change everyone's religion. Or he's going to ruin everything that we know, that we uphold, that we stand for. We can't afford that. So while these plans were being made to have Musa alayhi salam killed, a man who was from the people of Fir'aun, yani he was not from Bani Israel, he was not from those people, the same tribe as Musa alayhi salam. He was from the people of Fir'aun, but he had accepted Islam. He had accepted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as his Lord and Musa alayhi salam as his Nabi. So he came forward and started talking to Fir'aun and the people in his court. Now the reason why he was heard is because he was one of them. He said, أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَن يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ وَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. You want to kill someone just because they say their Lord is Allah? And after he's brought so many miracles to show who he is and who his Lord is. So look, at this point, after all these miracles, even then if he happens to be a liar, مَنْ يَكُ كَاذِبًا فَعَلِيهِ كَاذِبُ, then his lies are only going to hurt him, they're not going to hurt anyone else. But if what he is saying is true, وَإِن يَكُنْ صَادِقًا يُصِبْكُمْ بَعْضُ الَّذِي يَعِدُكُمْ, then at least some of what he is saying is going to come true. Such as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving them prosperity, giving them comfort, giving them ease, giving them rewards in dunya, giving them rewards in akhirah. And he said, look, today I see you with all the power. لَكُمُ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمَ ظَاهِرِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. But have you ever thought that what if there is a greater power that supersedes our power and takes everything away from us? فَمَنْ يَنْصُرُنَا مِنْ بَأْسِ اللَّهِ إِنْ جَاءَنَا. Have you ever thought of that? This argument that Fir'aun is the God, well, somebody created Fir'aun and somebody put him into power as the king. Have you ever thought that if that power, if that extremely powerful being retaliates and responds, then everything is lost? Now Fir'aun starts speaking. He said, مَا أُرِيكُمْ إِلَّا مَا أَرَى. No, the only opinion is mine. The only view that's valid is my view. وَمَا أَهْدِيكُمْ إِلَّا سَبِيلَ الرَّشَادِ. I will always guide everyone towards what is better for them. In other words, I've declared that I'm the God, and that's good enough for you. Don't challenge that. But this man continued his pitch, his da'wah, his invitation. He said, look people, I'm scared. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made examples of nations like us. Look at the nation of Nuh. Look at the nation of Ad and Thamud and others. They also had great power, great systems in place, great authority. There was one command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah wiped them all out. And then he said, what's going to happen? What about the day of judgment? When everyone will be calling to each other. إِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ يَوْمَ التَّنَادِ. Everyone will be running from one direction to another, and there will be no one to save you. Then he had the people of Egypt reflect that many centuries ago, another prophet came, a prophet by the name of Yusuf. He came with a message, and you people doubted him. And even though in his time most of the people accepted his faith, as soon as he left, they said, that's the last of the prophets, no one else is going to come. You went back to your old ways. So now Fir'aun is getting worked up, and he's having difficulty in responding to this man who is speaking so eloquently and clearly. So he says, to make a big joke out of it, he says, I have an idea. Let's go see, let's go up to the skies and see if Musa's God actually exists or not. So he told his minister, his wazir, whose name was Haman, that I want you to make a tower for me. Ya Haman ibn li sarhan. لعلي أبلغ الأسباب أسباب السماوات فأطلع إلى إله موسى وإني لأظنه كاذبا. I want you to build a tower, the highest tower that you possibly can. I'm going to climb up that tower myself and see if Musa's God is actually up there in the skies. But I think he's lying. So like this, Fir'aun made a big joke out of it. But this man continued to invite openly, even though he knew that there is not one person there who believes in Allah. So he continued like this. He said, look, I'm inviting you towards salvation. You're inviting me towards doom and destruction. You're inviting me that I take something to worship besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something that doesn't even exist. After conveying all of this, he said, look, فَسَتَذْكُرُونَ مَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. A day will come, a moment will come in your lives when you will remember the message that I'm conveying to you right now. And now that I have conveyed what I needed to, I hand my affair over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I put my trust in Allah. Now Fir'aun said, this man is a real threat. Someone should catch him and execute him. Because if he continues conveying this message, my people will start turning on me. So they tried. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped him and saved him. فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا. And instead it was Fir'aun and the people of Fir'aun that were punished. So this is another example from the Quran of someone who stood up at the moment when they needed to. At the moment when when truth needed to be said. When haqq needed to be supported and reinforced, these people stood up. Those are the people that the Quran honors and history remembers. The people that stood up for the truth when it was the time. As for those who stayed quiet, well, when they stay quiet, then history also stays quiet about them. There's nothing to say about them. There's nothing to talk about them. They were just quiet. So this is something for us to think about. There will be many occasions in our lives when we will need to speak the truth, and sometimes it will be in front of an audience that might not necessarily be interested in what we have to say. They might not agree. They might be opposed to it. At that time we have to conquer our fear and say what needs to be said. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who speak the truth whenever it needs to be said, in front of whoever it needs to be said. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala